Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time for a live stream. But first, a little music. Enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let a flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, folks. I hope you're all cozy, safe, comfy. It's one hell of a night up here. Heavy fog lying everywhere, and it's freezing. So I hope it's somewhat better conditions where you are. Good evening, Robert. Sounding like the start of a Lovecraft story. Woodlander. There are people in the chat, and there are always people in the chat. Who know because they have spoken to me privately in the past, that when they speak to me privately in confidence, that I do not repeat what they tell me. Now, I should tell those who have not spoken to me privately that I don't give up confidences. Just Kate. Good evening, John. I read An American Odyssey at the weekend. It's beautifully written and very moving. Thank you for sharing your story. Well, thank you for buying the book. Glad you got something from it, Kate. That's why it was written. That's why it was written. I start that way because the people who are sitting in the chat would be more than disappointed if I started to say anything about Friday night's live stream. Now, this is something that I've had all my life. People have come to me and spoken to me privately, sharing things that have happened to them, asking for advice, and sometimes not asking for advice, just simply having someone to share something that is perhaps bothering them. And of course, I have always taken this seriously. I love the mystery, says Budgie. And that's why I'm sharing this piece of information with you, because I'm confident that if I were to betray my own word of honor, all of you would be sorely disappointed in me. I know that. Well, this is why I'm starting the way I'm starting, Woodlander, because the other side of this Friday night was my state of mind. Now, over the weekend, I have been in a more stable state of mind and have reread the material many times now. And I have to apologize and say that I misread this material on Friday night. So let me explain that last Tuesday I had scheduled for a hospital visit, which I went along to get a scan. And when I went along there, the nursing staff and the doctors were not happy with me because of the state of my breathing, and insisted that I went to A&E and had it investigated. Now, this is connected to Friday, so just be a little bit patient, please. So I allowed myself to be taken down to A&E along with my son, and then spent the rest of the day in A&E. We both had nothing to drink, nothing to eat, and of course, as you're lying there half naked on one of these trolleys, I'm frozen. But all the time I'm getting blood samples. Well, you can't see it, most of it's gone. But I was getting blood samples every couple of hours because they weren't sure that I hadn't had a heart attack. It was either I had a heart attack or I had this other thing, OCDE or some damn thing. Right, something to do with breathing. So this went on all day. It was a very nice young doctor, Dr. Lewis, and it got to late on, and he says, I want you to stay in. That's it. Thank you, Woodlander. I can never remember this thing. I only heard it for the first time on Tuesday. Apparently I've had it for long enough. So anyway, he said, if I take this last sample and the results come back and they're within this parameter, that parameter, I want you to come in overnight. He says, and if it's outside of that, and if it's inside of that, I'll let you go home. We agreed on that, came back, it was inside this parameter it had set. So I subsequently went home, tired, dead beat actually, hungry, thirsty, but we went home. The following day, this is now Wednesday, after a good night's sleep, 9 o'clock, just before 9 o'clock, my son's going off to work. Now, he locks the front door. That means now that I'm in the house myself. The front door, that's about it. Well, that's about it. Bugger lumps. Yeah. So my stairs, I've got 18 stairs all the way down to the front door, which is locked. I'm in myself, and I decide I'm just going to lie here for a little bit before I get up. So I take my medication, which is blood thinner and a morphine tablet. And then the pain starts slowly but surely across the chest, down the arms and into the hands, both sides. And it gets worse and worse and worse. I can't actually phone for help, although doctor's surgery is just next door because the door's locked. If I phone for an ambulance, it's the same problem. The front door's locked, and it's going to take me, if I can make it, forever. Now, by this time, the pain is so severe across here that I think I'm dying. I'm being serious now. I really thought I was on the verge of death. It was so bad. But I've got no choice. So I phoned Samuel at work, and there was no answer. I then phoned my sister, and she's in Port Glasgow, and there was no answer. Now there's nobody left to phone. That's it. Toffee, you've got it. You've got the gist of it for that. But then the phone rings, and it's Alison, my sister. And I can barely speak, and I managed to get to tell her that I need help, but I'm locked in. Can she come? So she does one better than that. She phones her daughter, who is heavily pregnant, I might add. The baby's due any time now, to come down, and I'll try and open the back window and throw the keys out so she can get in. Okay? At that point, as I'm standing there next to the window with the keys in my hand, this is the high point of the pain. I swear to God, I thought my time was up. I really did. But I managed to throw the keys out. Short time later, she arrives, and a very short time after that, my son and my sister arrive in the house. Now, I know they can't do anything, but now I'm not on my own. And at this point, this pain is beginning to come down a little. Then they phone for an ambulance. So about an hour later, an ambulance arrives, and they start running tests on me. And all the time, this pain is slowly but surely coming down. And then they tell me, we can't do anything for you, Mr. Davidson, because one of us is a trainee, and we can't take you into hospital because one of us is a trainee. We will have to phone for an ambulance. So they then phone for an ambulance. So now there's 2 ambulances outside the house. But anyway, what can you do, travelling? So now I'm getting wheeled into the hospital. This is Wednesday. And they're in the same position. They don't know whether it's a heart attack or it's this. Where was it? Where is it? the thing that Woodlander put up, right? Anyway, I get carted back in, and of course, some of the staff are not happy with me because I didn't stay overnight. But never mind about that. So now I'm totally rattled. And the same procedure starts all over again. Oh, very good, Woodlander. Very good. I'm glad I tuned in tonight. I can cancel my trip to Argentina and cancel selling all my belongings. Don't even like Argentina. Don't know why I thought that'd be a good place to escape to. I like it. Okay, folks. So eventually, through this long Wednesday now, the specialist comes down. The doc again does his thing, and he doesn't know whether it's a heart attack or this other thing. So he calls down his boss, and he tells me the same thing. I'm not sure if it's been a heart attack, Mr. Davidson, or it's this other thing. I'm inclined to think that it isn't a heart attack. And this other thing won't kill you. So, they are both shocked, but they don't say anything. I can tell that they're both shocked because I have not been issued with any medication. Edmund, my father was told he had bowel cancer over the phone. In fact, he had pneumonia. God almighty. That's terrible, giving out that kind of information over the telephone. It's just unacceptable to me. Right, Toffee? So they're shocked by all of this. And the doctor on duty writes an email to my GP along with a letter of explanation as to what's been going on. But that Wednesday, the on-duty doctor quietly gives me an inhaler. He says, we're not supposed to issue these things, Mr. Davidson, but I don't want you going home without something. So off I went home, and the following day I got a phone call from my GP. That's how you know somebody has slipped up somewhere. Oh, that's surely the truth of it, Woodlander. That's surely the truth of it. And so my son rushes to the surgery, which, as I say, is just next door. A couple of steps and you're in it. Over to the pharmacy. There's another one. I get two. I get this one. That's a use it as and when, and another one which is used once a day. Oh, you're special, John. Now, not quite finished yet, of course. So the minute I start taking this thing, there's an improvement. Now you might hear an improvement at your end, because I know that often you have picked up when I'm not great and you say so. So I'm sure you must be hearing an improvement tonight in my vocal cords and my breathing. But of course, on the Friday, I had another email on an entirely different matter from an entirely different person, asking for confidential advice. That's why I started with that explanation. And I gave that person my time and my best advice. Then I went off to make something to eat, came back, started to get ready for the live stream when I noticed this thing had come in. I completely misread the whole damn thing. So there is nothing to be told. There is nothing to be concerned about, either collectively or individually. It's the way I read it. And that's why I'm telling you the details of all of what went on last week, because my mind was all over the place, as was my emotional state. Then having an emotional email before that one, and then that one, I was just not in the right state of mind. What I should have done, of course, is I should never have read it. I should have left it alone until after the stream. But I tend, when it's one of these types of emails, I tend not to do that. So I hope that calms everyone down and we can get back to business as normal. Yeah, I suppose you could put it that way, Kate. But I've got to say again, I really, especially Wednesday, I thought I was dying. I've never experienced that level of pain ever before. So there you go, folks. That's what was behind all of that. And again, I'll say this. I used to say it regularly, but I sort of got out of the habit of it. I would say regularly, and I'm sure someone like Treble M will remember me saying this. I used to say regularly, if you wish to speak to me confidentially, please don't hesitate. If I can't help, at least I can listen. And I used to say that regularly. Essentially, that's it, Basil. It's essentially what you're saying. So if you ever do need any of you want to speak in confidence about anything, don't hesitate. Just write me an email and ask. Oh, there's some boys in Brazil. Stay with them. Yeah. So, business as normal. I've also got this here, just so you know, folks. Uh, I got my letter telling me my uh, pension age, winter heating payment, how much it will be, and it'll be getting paid into my bank account very soon. So, if I've got my letter, you folks will be getting your letter if you've not already got it, and you'll be getting it pretty soon, I should think. So, so we can ask for advice, says just ask. Oh, oh, oh. Just Kate. So we can ask for advice as long as we preface it with don't panic. I repeat, do not panic. Everything's fine. So we don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. uh, don't tell him your name, Pike. What do you mean you only got a tenner? I only got a tenner. Hang on a bit. Treble. Is it coming from the Department of Work and Pensions? Shouldn't be. Don't panic. Don't panic. It's not something like that, is it? Hang on. That's coming from the Social Security Scotland. Separate letter. But there is no threshold on this. This winter heating allowance thing. It's not means tested. No, maybe it is. Treble M, I would chase them up on that. Pension age winter heating payment. Could it be any more awkwardly said? I'd ring them. Only cost you a telephone call. Ring them. Challenge it. What have you got to lose? Oh, I wouldn't panic if those sort of Germans came over here. Be bliss, says Faulty Towers. Basil Faulty. No, Treble M, please challenge that. For God's sake, challenge it. You've got nothing to lose at this point. I've got a short video here sent to me by Treble M. So let's have a look.
Age pensioners lobbying their MPs for a better deal from the government. It's an annual pre-budget ritual. But there's added point this year because the government is about to announce the results of a major review into our whole social security system. And the early signs aren't good. TVI has been looking at the impact of recent policy changes on the very poorest of our old people.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Wallace. South of Scotland.
Mrs. Margaret Wallace uses electricity for all her heating and cooking.
No.
And the South of Scotland board can produce her computerised bill on the doorstep.
You see the electricity bill coming out now with the new machine?
Mm-hmm.
It's a cold day today out now.
Oh, this is a new idea, right enough.
Yes.
I hope it makes the bill a wee bit less than a lot.
No, I certainly hope so myself. Yes, Your Accountant, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh my God, £128.39.
Well, I didn't think it was that bad, thank you.
Oh, was it not? It was £120 the last time, at this time of year. 2 years ago, they gave me some money to help. But that was all 2 years ago, but nothing now. think it was sent me into workhouse. Come and cut off my electricity.
The fuel authorities don't disconnect old people in the winter, but they still have to pay their
I
bills.
hope not.
Mrs. Wallace spends a third of her income on electricity. Her pension and disability allowance comes to £43.50. This is how the money goes. Food, up to £15 a week. TV rental and licence, £4. Telephone, £3. And electricity during the winter, £15 a week. To pay the electricity bill, there's only one solution.
Well, I'll have to borrow it off my daughter and off the money she's got to bury me. Wouldn't I? She puts it in the bank. And if I need any, she'd to get me that spin dryer and then I have to pay her back.
You say
It's
that
so
she's
much.
got money put by for your funeral, has she?
To me, I give her so much if she's here. If I've got anything left, I just give it away with her. And she puts it away. And that's what it's for.
65p keeps Harry Ayres warm for an hour or two at most. That £1 off a week makes a lot of difference when the meter takes 50p a time.
Well, I'm spending at least 12 or 14 pounds a week now. So I told you I put in £3 yesterday, I kept account. Day before was Sunday, wasn't it? That was £2.50 on Sunday. Because I went to bed in the afternoon. I thought, well, I'll switch off the fire, you know. To now mean, but it's the money, you know.
Do you even make savings on your light as
Oh, I do, yes. If I go from that room in there, I've never had to do it right through light. I switch off, if it's only for a second.
What about of an evening in this room?
Don't have no light at all. No. I get this light here, comes in the two rooms.
What, the street lights?
Lovely, and then amber colour light. So it's quite good, you know. It's not dark.
And that saves you some...
Yes, and you've got the telly on, that gives the light. But if I had that on, there'd be another £1 a week on that. Easy.
What are you wearing now under your
Well,
dressing
I've got
gown?
2 jumpers on, a vest and a shirt, and the scarf. But when I come here first, I had 3 scarves on and 2 jumpers and a dressing gown.
So you put that pillow and other things there to just try and stop the draft.
Down, yes.
And that curtain.
Plastic, yes.
Bloody
See, I
miserable.
got a bit of plastic behind here.
Look at it.
I fixed it all up myself because my husband couldn't do it.
Does it keep the draft out?
Yeah, a little bit, you know, not very much, but...
Have you got any other
you feel
draft?
that pillow, look.
That's very damp, isn't it?
You couldn't put that on the bed anyway.
No, you couldn't. Has your husband been complaining about the cold recently?
Oh, yeah. Terrible lot.
What about last night? Was it?
Last night it was perishing cold. He said to me, it's cold when I said, well, I've done the best I can. You got all the blankets on the bed, sleeping between blankets, and got his cardigan on. You got the 2 blankets on, and I've got another one ready to put on the bed if he wants it.
Her complaint about social security is the bureaucracy.
Well, it's so where you go, there's so many queues out there, and then you're hours up there waiting. And if you don't get up there by a certain time, well, you find a queue up there miles long.
In the second week of January, 2 areas, East Anglia and parts of the south, were considered sufficiently cold. As the winter weather continued, other areas were accepted for special payments: the Midlands, the home counties and the West. In the big February freeze-up, Wales, the southeast and other parts of England were added to the list. But because of the way the system has been worked out, the rest of the country was not officially cold enough, and the Scots are furious. Pensioners' groups have taken up the cause. This group joined a protest in Glasgow council offices against rates and rents rises to make the point. No amount of sophisticated temperature tables will convince them that Scottish old people have not been cheated out of their cold weather entitlement. In their view, the Scottish winter should regularly justify payment.
We are not a foreign country. It is not England. We are supposed to be Great Britain. Why make a difference from England to Scotland? We suffer the cold up here worse than England does.
Well, what the government says is that the winter hasn't been quite cold enough to trigger...
Let her come up. and spend a winter here.
Mrs. Thatcher.
Yes, of course. Yes, bring her here. Bring her up here. Instead of going to California, President Reagan, let her come up here and suffer a winter in one of our houses that we have to, and see if off a £36 a week she can pay the heating that we have to pay.
There you go, folks. Awful. Absolutely awful. Kate, John, I thought of emailing you about your book, as there is too much to say in a chat, but scared now, in case you shut down the channel and everyone emigrates. I'm not shutting the channel down, Kate. And if you want to talk to me about the book, email me and I can arrange or set up, if you wish, I can set up a private live stream when it's just the two of us speaking back and forth, if that would be of interest to you. You just send me an email and say, can we speak privately about the book, John? Okay, I'll set that up for you. All right. Budgie, this is a bit disturbing. Have you ever got mail for dead occupants of your house, sending bills to dead people? No, Budgie, that's something that has not happened. Not so far, anyway. I had a bit of a dispute, admittedly, shortly after Helen died, but I straightened that out. I've never had anything like that. I would encourage Treble M to try again anyway. You've got nothing to lose, my friend. We're all saying you should qualify. You should. Doesn't mean to say that under the rules that you will, of course. A Hugo Boss uniform, is it, Kate? Take it. Treble M, I know they're pretty useless folk. I know they are. Okay? But get in touch with your local MP or your local councillor. This is a strange name here. Not seen that here before. Oh, I feel the same, Toffee. I do. It's totally unacceptable, but well, it's not right. Of course it's not right. Try your local councillor. Try them first. Try the court councillor. Try your MP. You've got nothing to lose here. I was the same, folks. A number of years ago, I was the same. I used to spend most of the winter in bed to keep warm. And then I got to the point, I thought, I can't live like this because this is not living. And I got them to put me on a payment. And as soon as I went on the pavement, I just turned on the heating. I mean, that's just unacceptable. Immigrant hotels are lovely and boring. Yeah, of course they are. Bloody outrageous. We're paid for it. Yeah, but you can't touch them, Anglo. That's the thing. Oh, can't touch them. Goodness sake. Well, upset the balance of the planet. Whoa! If you believe that nonsense, which I don't. Well, that's the way it looks as though it's shaping up, Edmund. My son tells me tomorrow's going to be worse than today, and it's bad today. Toffee says Liverpool has historically been fucked over more than most places. Yeah, I can imagine they have, daring to stand up to government. This is why we had to learn shortcuts and have gained a criminal reputation. The government did this to us. Yeah, I'm sure there's all sorts of ways around particular problems. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there are up here as well. I certainly don't know, to be honest. Okie doke, Anglo. Well, you can see that's what's coming on the back of it all, can't you? Kate saying they'll be offered euthanasia if they're not able to afford heating. Could make suggestions about fires to warm the country up, but it would be a bit fed posty. Well, that's always the case, Edmund. Always has been the case. I don't think I've had an email. Not that I know of. Well, as I say, if you want to talk about the book, don't hesitate. You will have noticed, of course, on reading it, that I left out all the clinical details. That was a deliberate writer's choice. I felt there was no point in putting that stuff in. I don't know what's going on. Nothing as far as I know. Am I not in the channel? What the hell's going on here? It looks fine from my end, folks. If there's something wrong, let me know. All right, okay, Toffee, thanks for that info. Basil, we are such slaves. I still got 29 years till I pay my mortgage off. I used to correspond with MP all the time, says Julia. The new Labour one hasn't answered me yet. I hope, Julia, everything at home is as good as it can be. Oh, this is an Irish person, right? Here in Ireland, we had a local council refuse to answer what percentage of council houses are currently housing immigrants. They refused to look into the figure. Well, there's a surprise, eh? There's a surprise. I think not. No, there's I assume another Irish person. It was 51% in 2011. Are you good people get any idea how much these councillors are earning? I was shocked when I discovered it. That's the attitude, Toffee. Do your best. I always encourage people to do that. Laura's son, he's done it, but he earns a lot of money. Ah, yeah, it's that old loophole, isn't it? Just remember, says Treble M, you have to be on pension credit to receive the winter fuel allowance. I don't get it. That's where you're £3 over. Jesus. Oh. They cut off the video for the elderly couple. Jesus. Thomas Boyd, how are you? Applying for disabled person bus pass in Scotland. You have had before 207. Got disabled persons rail card for the next 3 years. £54 lower. DLA, better than nothing. Well, that's true. It's better than nothing. Toffee's saying, as long as I can afford dog food, I'm happy to live like a Spartan for a few years. Good evening, William. Now that William's here, I have to remind you that I will not be doing a live stream on Friday. My friend from Glasgow's coming down. Years gone by, this would be me going up to his house for Christmas dinner. That he would make lavish food for us. But because I can't get up all his stairs, he now visits me. So he's coming down this Friday. So no live stream. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. I seem to remember Streaky Bacon saying he was going to be disappearing for a couple of weeks. Am I right, folks? Sounds like a fine idea there, Gavin. Some money, isn't it, Thomas? Some money. Don't see them taking a pay cut to help old folk. What's this? Basel. You know where Sensum disappeared to? Yeah, I was thinking about that myself. A lot of councillors have other jobs, making a fortune, says Treble M. Are you right, Treble M? It's the same up here. It's the same up here. And are cutting services. Alison, my sister, is in danger of losing her job. Yeah, I thought that Treble M. I just thought it'd be nice to get a replacement for the next movie review, because at the moment we've only got myself and William and Samuel, because I'm not confident that Sensum's going to turn up. He never turned up last time, which is very unusual. Well, there's always that possibility, Anglo. He does rather take a chance on that. I can't answer that myself. I was wondering the same thing, folks. I don't know. I'd reject any visitor from Glasgow, John, says Toffee. They're mental, those people. My mother's case in point. Streaky's getting married. Streaky is busy preparing his forthcoming marriage, says Kate. We're waiting with bated breath to find out which fair maiden he picks. I'll believe that when it happens. Is he back, Toffee? I go, that's something. The council in Aberdeenshire would even cut the grass in some areas. They claim it's rewilding. I'm going to sound like a real old man now and say, this country's going to hell in a handbasket. I tell you. Sadly, Sensum and Streaky listened to me and are now sharing a flat in Buenos Aires. Says Woodlander. Well, they better be careful if that's where they are, because it might get attacked by the bugs. And I haven't said anything, of course, about the political situation in the Middle East because I don't know what the heck's going on. So I go back to the hospital on Thursday for a consultation now that I've had my scan done. Well, thanks for that summary, Basil. Israel are invading land. More land that doesn't belong to them. Well, that's for sure, Treble M. I do hope Streaky does come back before Christmas. We need him. We need him to help put us in a good mood. Yeah, that's for sure. So, this time next week, I should be able to tell you how my medical condition is, whether it's still stable or not. And, we'll just have to wait and see on that front. Because if it is stable, I've got ideas about promoting the party, but it depends on my health. Well, thank you for that, Woodlander. As you can imagine, I have not been up to it, trying to keep abreast of events. So it's really business as usual over there then. Basil, that's basically it. I got people spooked over nothing. I apologise for that. And they'll get it, Julia. Depends on which condition it's in when they get it, though. Now, I can't even say that I could try and do something for Christmas myself on the channel. Because it depends on how I am. Well, that's for sure. Streaky is a good lad. He's a character. But he's our character. And we like having him around, that's for sure. That's all we can do, Julia. We can only do our best. Try and gather party members around, people who would join the party, promote our ideas. That's all we can ever do until we get some power. Whenever I get the opportunity, which is rare nowadays, of course, I still give out booklets. That's what they were made for. T2B, NOMO is the name of Mike's cancer. It's stable, but the COPD will take him out. Just got to keep moving forward, Julia. There's nothing else for it. His performance is level 2. I don't know what that means, Julia. I've never heard those kind of terms. Certainly don't speak to me like that. All I know is that they will not perform any operation on me. So it's all about my resistance via my body. Well, absolutely, that's for sure. Kate, we have the best regional accents in the country. I love hearing them all. That is diversity at its best. Well, I've made that point many times myself, Kate. It's the only diversity we ever needed. Oh, that's a shame. You can't take the dogs out anymore. That's a shame, Julia. So I've got to do it, and I hate dogs. I'm sure they bring him amount of pleasure. You're giving Mike one go of a tiny bit of radiation. He's on palliative radiation. I certainly hope it helps. Oh, so tragic. I don't think we're going to have a good Christmas, Julia. He started double breathing this week. It could make it worse. I don't know what to say. When it gets to that point, you start to worry about pain relief. Yeah. Awful. Just awful. My son says that to me now. I'm cross, he's going first. Who's going to look after me? My son has said that to me. Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking, these situations. They gave him 300 millilitres of liquid morphine on Friday. There's hardly any left. He took some as well. When I was looking after Helen, I was in charge of all the medication. Yeah. There's nothing any of us can say, Julia. That's true. There is nothing we can say, except that we'll be here. And you should lead on that a little bit. It doesn't now. Did they offer you oxygen? If you're asking me, Julia, no, not at all. To these, well, as I say, I feel as though it's helped enormously. I know that. I can tell myself. And you've got my personal email address, so if you ever want to speak, as I said earlier, in confidence, you know I'm here. Woodlander, I have to go. Thank you for not making me move to Argentina. You're welcome, Woodlander. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the week, as I won't be around. Yeah, well, when I was looked after Helen all those years ago, we bought a big fan, which helped to keep her body temperature down. Of course you can. Just write me an email. You've got my address. I'll do what I can. So, well, I couldn't tell you, to be honest, Julia. It's a big brute at this size. And one of these, it moved. Still have it, just don't use it anymore. How about a little music, eh? Put on a song. Sure, no problem. It is. You sure about that, Julia? I'll play it if you wish. Okay. I'll play it if you wish. I'll find it first. Yes. aye. Yeah, we're almost there. Not often I get asked for this. I wish I could figure this out. They've changed their settings, so they have again.
Love.
Yeah.
If I could turn back the time, the one thing I would do, take her in these empty arms and love her through and through. When she died, love died too. Rose my restless heart. It was ending with no pretending. It never was our style. I remember our last December. She crushed it with her smile. In the stillness of my mind, I know that she still cares. She comes to lift the sorry soul and prove that she's still there. When she died, love died too. Rose my restless heart. It was ending with no pretending. That never was our style. I remember our last December, how she crushed it with her smile. In the glow of Christmas light, she softly asked me why our summer dream so suddenly to our season of goodbye. She was dying, no point in lying. It never was our style. I remember our last December, how she crushed it with her smile.
There you go. I'm exactly the same, Toffee. Exactly the same. and with and with the passage of time, it doesn't help. It still has an enormous effect on me when I hear it. Well, thank you, Toffee. Right, I played it the first time you had come here, Julia. It's interesting. As I say, the passage of time has not made it any easier to listen to it. I've never managed a performance of any kind live. Kate, that's lovely, Joan. I imagine Helen watching over you and Samuel from that high plane and feeling happy that you made her last wish come true. Linda, well, just tuned in. Now I'm green. Julia, bless you, sending prayers. Yeah, almost exquisite. Almost exquisite. Doesn't quite describe the depth. It's to cut the word. Exquisite. Exquisite. Well, thank you very much, Robert. It was years after her death before I wrote that. And of course, having read the book, you'll be able to correct things a bit better. I'm crying too. This is Kate. Hello, John, and everyone. 07. Julia, you're an excellent poet. Thank you very much. High praise indeed. You have a way with words. I've learned Scottish. I could never understand it. Well, Kate, that's an absolutely brilliant compliment that you're giving me there. I could hear your voice from every page. It will stay with me a long time. You just can't help the way you're made, Toffee. That's it. Sincerely, Kate, that's a tremendous compliment. That. Julia, I remembered that song from nearly 4 years ago. Well, thank you very much, Toffee. It's a beautiful sentiment you're sending out there. Uh, it's very satisfying on some level when you know that people feel that way about you. But I don't think I could ever sit down in front of a piano on a stage somewhere and actually make my way through that song. I just don't think I could do it. Well, thank you, Sheila. The boss. As I say, you're also generous with your kindness, and I appreciate that. These moments are what make these streams special. Gavin, but I've been following 3.5 years now. Well, most of you are standing chat members. And most of you have been here a long time. Treble M, I mean, she's the matriarch. She's been here the longest. And that says something about all of you because you're all banded together. There is a true community here. Despite the limitations of the technology. That's amazing. The boss. So Linda's saying the only good thing to come out of COVID is the great online community we have, especially Love Our Song. That's all great, and we have to accept that there are other benefits because we know that there are other communities who have created a similar experience. The warmest radiates from you. And John's roaring fire, says Sheila, is that we're all invited to be around. The warmth radiates from you, John. Yeah. So yeah, and as I say, and added to that, you know, when people do ask me to speak privately, I mean that just adds so much to the channel. Hi, Ludwig. Yeah, it was you, Julia. Yeah, because I used to change that, but you suggested this one, and that's been that way ever since. It works very well, of course. Dawn doesn't seem to be here tonight unless she's lurking someplace. So remember, now, I won't be on a Friday. Right, Toffee, if you're going to, there they are. There's Toffee's advert there, so copy it down, folks, so you don't miss his show. All right. Doris Day. I was brought up with those songs, Sheila. So as I said, don't forget, I won't be here on Friday. I'm entertaining my good friend of 30 years plus on Friday. And next week, I'll let you know what the doctors are saying about my general health. Okie doke. So I will now, where is it? It's way up there. Hey, have you got a note of that? That was interesting tonight, those lads from, or I think it was two lads from Ireland. That was interesting. You go right ahead, Toffee. That's how you feel. So, let me bring in the music. I would like to think that's exactly what happens. That you're all singing this song at home. I really do. Wish I could sort this damn thing out. I need to have my son look at it. Okay. So, as I like to say, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. Take care. Enjoy your time. And we'll speak again soon. And thanks very much, all of you, for coming tonight. Take care.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides a fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together.
But love's much more than we can know.
That we never possibly.
We are one small glow.
What an important glow.
In the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, past the consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now.
But we're much more,
So much more
than we can know.
than we never possibly.
We are one small glow
What an important glow.
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow.
So take care, folks. And again, thanks for being here. And I'll speak to you next Tuesday. Bye for now.